Once, in a busy railway station, a beggar spent his days asking passengers for money. Every train that arrived brought new faces, and every face brought the same hope in his heart that someone would give him enough to survive another day. He had accepted one belief deeply inside his mind: I have nothing to offer, so I can only take. One afternoon, as he stretched out his hand to strangers, a well-dressed businessman stepped onto the platform. He looked confident, focused, and successful. The beggar immediately thought, this man must be rich. If I ask him, he will surely give me more than others. So he approached him and asked for money. But the businessman did something unexpected. He didn't give anything. Instead, he asked a question. Do you always take from others? Have you ever given anything to anyone? The beggar froze. No one had ever asked him that before. He replied softly, Sir, I am a beggar. I have nothing to give. The businessman looked at him calmly and said, If you believe you have nothing to give, then you will always remain someone who only takes. Life is not just about receiving, it is about exchange. Then he walked away. The beggar stood there confused, his mind disturbed. That night, he couldn't sleep. The businessman's words kept repeating in his head. Nothing to give, nothing to give. For the first time in his life, he questioned himself. Days passed. He stopped begging, sitting quietly at the station thinking deeply. He began to observe people instead of asking from them. One day, he noticed wildflowers growing near the railway tracks. They were simple, but beautiful, something he had ignored all his life. Suddenly, an idea sparked in his mind. What if I give something small instead of just asking? He carefully picked a few flowers and returned to his spot. When a passenger gave him money, he smiled and offered a flower in return. The reaction surprised him. People smiled back. Some accepted the flower happily. Some even gave more money than before. Day by day, he continued this new way. He realized something important. When he had flowers, people gave more. When he had nothing to offer, they gave less. Now he understood a powerful truth: people respond to value, not just need. One day, the same businessman returned. The beggar rushed toward him excitedly and said, Sir, now I give flowers in exchange for money. The businessman smiled. Good. Now you understand the principle of exchange. You are no longer just taking, you are giving value. Those words changed everything inside him. For the first time, he saw himself differently. He wasn't just a beggar. He was someone who could create value. He was a trader. That day, he made a decision. He left the railway station forever and started selling flowers properly, building a small business of his own. Months passed. One day, at another railway station, two well-dressed men met. They shook hands, but one of them looked closely and said, Do I know you? The other man smiled. Yes, we met here before. The first man looked confused. Then suddenly his eyes widened. You were that beggar. The man laughed. Yes, but not anymore. Today I am a flower businessman. I travel to expand my business. The businessman was shocked. What changed you? The man replied calmly. You taught me something priceless. I was never poor. I just thought I had nothing to give. The moment I changed my thinking, my life changed. They stood there for a moment in silence, no longer businessman and beggar, but two equal human beings shaped by one truth. And that truth was simple.